just then ask you, to share your journey about why and how we got to, why Angels here at Court Theatre.
Well, I mean, I love the production of Caroline. I really love the production of The Illusion. I've enjoyed I mean, it's mostly what you said. I've had a terrific time talking with you. The relationship between playwrights and directors is immensely fraught. I've really come to believe after 30 years of doing theater that it's more than any other relationship likely to fall victim to the fact that we never give plays enough rehearsal time. A play that's 2 hours in length should be in rehearsal for 6 or 7 weeks. A play that's 3.5 hours in length, 3 hours in length in the case of Millennium, and 3 hours and 20 minutes, this is minus the intermissions, for both of these plays, should really be in rehearsal. I mean, it could happily be in rehearsal, I think, without anybody feeling that they were wasting any time for 2 or 3 months each. And instead we do the whole thing in 7 weeks. And then we start charging tickets and invite people to come and watch us continue to rehearse. And if you're really lucky, you have a cast as amazing as this cast. By the end of the run, they'll be sort of almost ready to go into tech. I mean, it's the way that it works. But no one should ever kid themselves that this is in any way optimal. And one of the places where this, one of the things I think that suffers the most is that it's very, very difficult for the handing over of authority from the playwright to the director. It's a fraught and very complicated and enormously economically burdened thing, because having just done a movie, I can say with great glee, I own the script of Angels in America, and you're renting it, and you're my, you've got a lease, but if you screw up the walls or anything, I can throw you out. That power is almost never invoked. I mean, there have been times when playwrights have threatened, and once or twice when playwrights have actually pulled the rights, but it is a power differential that's in the room. It's mine. The theater sort of created what we call a tradition to kind of hide the ugly, brutal economic fact in something that seems a little bit more appealing. So we talk about the tradition of the theater is this reverence for the text, and then there is actually also a necessary reverence for text, because smart people understand, and you certainly do, that when a company gets together and tries to create a world in 7 weeks, since the only thing that everyone has in common is what's on paper, the only thing that everybody can return to is the text. God help you if you start to say, well, this isn't really what's going on. What's going on is your own private, memories of when your, pet gerbil fell in the blender, and you start to go off. I encountered an actor recently who explained to me very patiently that the first thing that he did was to cross out all the stage directions and ignore them, and just look at which is, of course, absolute madness. Nobody has to follow stage directions exactly, or even at all if you come up with something better. But to ignore anything that's on the page at the beginning means that you're making your life existentially more. You're becoming a Bible-rejecting atheist before you've had a chance for civilization to develop the kind of strictures that makes it possible for people to not, sleep with their children and eat each other. So it's not a good idea. The connection that we've had is, it's a wonderful thing to find a director that you feel like you can really. You're in enormous patience with me, and their willingness to let me talk at endless length. Apparently, never have any other appointments that you have to get to. Either a terrible commentary on your life, or just an amazing commentary on your infinite patience. And patience is, of course, I think, an immensely important quality for a director to have. And so far, it's worked beautifully. So this is our third. Theoretically, this is the one that should be a giant flaming disaster. Maybe we'll avoid that. And that's a rare and wonderful thing. We're now talking about, I don't think we should say what, but we're now talking about a couple of things that would be work that I'd actually create that you would do the first production, which is, God help us both is a whole other thing. A play that's 20 years old, even somebody as controlling and obsessive as I am, gets a little bit of distance on, whereas if it's something that's just come, out of your hands, it's, you've had your newborn, I hate baby analogies for anything except babies, but you've handed something that you're just completely a part of and feel has never had a chance to breathe to somebody who you're certain within 5 or 6 minutes is out to destroy you and make you unhappy in your life, which I think everybody is trying to do to playwrights. I mean, I think my friend Tony Kushner, who's directed a number of things of mine and has just written his first play, and he wrote me this miserable email from the first couple of weeks of rehearsals of his play and said, I hate them all and they're stupid and why are they saying it this way and why don't they do it? And I said, well, the first and most important thing is that feeling that you have that they're out to ruin your play and destroy you is absolutely correct. And never let go of it. What's going on, and then proceed from there. It's a complicated business, but I've found the working relationship wonderful, and your relationship with the community of scholars, and the fact that you go to great universities and the theaters that are closely associated with great universities that I won't name names, and you always think, oh God, this is going to be great because we're going to get this really smart audience. But for some weird reason, a number of these theaters have notoriously some of the worst audiences on the planet, and they're people who really don't want to be there, and students who have all been sort of forced in by freshman drama 101, and they really got excited about Dames at Sea, but they're sitting through your long and very intelligent play and bored out of their mind. And whenever you go to a theater for the first time doing one of your plays, the first thing you pay attention to is what's the audience like if it's in a city other than yours. And I've done a lot of work in Chicago, so I this is a great theater city, and the audiences are eager for complexity and difficulty and very smart and wonderful audiences. But I found in the court a kind of thrilling mix of people from the local community, people from the academic community, and a lot of the professors that I've spoken to at these meetings are people who really genuinely love theater and genuinely love theater as an art rather than, of course everybody wants to hear gossip, but it's not just about what won the Tony Award last year, and which means that it's an academic community that actually takes theater seriously. I think that a lot of what happens in some of these other places is that they're all incredibly brilliant people who think that theater is a kind of an inferior and antiquated luxury for people who don't have anything better to do with their time and or who aren't good enough to do to teach at their university. And I really have felt with the scholars that I've met, the people that are studying and writing about theater that I've spoken to, they're not only writing about it, but they have an actual vital engagement with the process of making it. And some of that, in fact, I think everyone without exception has said to me that the connection to the court is a big part of that, which is thrilling.